Bom, vamos começar aqui. Era. Melhor load, game. I wish it hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we'd managed to find some clue as to what that speckled band might be. We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to do that for a while any longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us, as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh yes, he's completely disappeared. When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. Ok, já vimos isso. I really wish we had a chance to look around in Miss Pavlova's cabin. What? Why you look like that? You want something? Maybe. You want me to throw you out again? No, definitely not that. Next time I have to throw you out, I show you where lobsters spend winter. Understand? Understand. Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face. I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Naruhodo-san. I think I missed a few parts. Hello, Johnny! Why is the sailor showing so much waist? It's because he's big, I think, and the uniform is quite small for him. Okay, okay, let me do a quick recap of what we are going through. We are being accused of killing our best friend, and we are trying to gather some evidence that show us that we didn't kill him. Basically, do you know when this story is settled on? Basically, it's in the 1800s. We are from Japan, and we are going to England to study. At least our best friend was going to England to study law there. And we went along because we wanted to. Okay. That door leads to the second class area. It's locked. I can't open it. No, well, that stands for a reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape. Oh yes, and she also thinks we are the murderer. Gosh, she gave me a very stern look when she said that. We're innocent. Okay. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. Oh yes, we sneak into this ship, being thrown around in a... Oh, I forgot the... Basically, we went inside the wardrobe. We hide in there. I just knew this game takes place a while before the other Ace Attorney games. Yes, we are like the great grandpa from Phoenix Wright right now. Ryonosuke, that is. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. Anyway, I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga has managed to uncover any new clues. Yes, we should probably find him and ask. So wait a minute, court record. Let me show you some of the people. Okay, this is our best friend who was killed. A certified lawyer and my best friend, he was on his way to London for a study tour when he was taken from this world. Susato Mikotoba, a judicial assistant who was traveling with Kazuma to London for a study tour. She is the epitome of a refined Japanese lady. There's not a person in... oh yes, we have Sherlock Holmes. There is not a person in this world who hasn't heard of this famous great detective. Not a person except for me, apparently. Yes, we are Ryonosuke Naruhodo. Satoru Hosonaga, a chief inspector in the Imperial Police Bureau, who's an undercover mission, posing as a member of this ship's crew. Beef stroganoff. A real wall of a man and a senior member of the Russian crew who's in charge of security around the first class cabins. This was this is not a real person. She is a young ballerina who's fled her homeland of Russia to escape the Novavik Ballet. She's in this cabin right here, where the big dude is in front of. Okay. Let us... No. No. Okay, I already... Okay. We need to go in there. 19 January, SS Buria, first class cabin number 1. It looks like they're still investigating in here. Yes, on that subject. I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga is unscathed. What do you mean, unscathed? Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruhodo-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let us see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us, you never know. You! Where did you go? Oh, sorry, I just went to the next door cabin. Why? Who gave you permission for this? Funnily enough, I did recently find Portuguese fan translation for the first AA trilogy. It's so good. I love the translation, the fan-made translation for Portuguese, which I thought would be funny to play through at some point. It is good to help you learn more Portuguese this way. Oh well, Seaman Hosonaga did. That new Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him into a ball and throw him in cold room. I'm really trying to do a Russian accent. I'm not sure if I'm doing well enough, but he's gone back to guarding the door. I hope Inspector Hosonaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble in our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at La Carnival. That could be a very long time from now, Naruhodo-san. These are the rules of the passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. So, by bringing her pet on board, Miss Pavlova has broken the rules. Oh yeah, she brought a pet, but we don't know what animal it is. She called it her friend, didn't she? Yes, although we don't know what form of this friend take as yet. I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin. A friend. There's more to this than it seems, I think. We already seen this, Opa. So it's clear that these letters were written with the ink that was somehow spilled on the floor. And they spell the Russian word for wardrobe. It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruhodo-san, as you were sleeping in there. But to be truly unambiguous, it should have just spelled out my name, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words, or word, in Russian. Which begs the question of who did write it. This is where Kazuma spent his final moments, writing in his diary. 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Looking at his writing here on this page, it's almost impossible to believe that he's gone. Kazuma-sama left us a valuable clue in these words, I'm sure of it. I have to solve this mystery, Naruhodo-san. We will. He didn't have that black eye before. Ah, you're back. Inspector, what happened to you? Your face is... Please, don't worry about it. They're just scratches. Maybe by a bear? When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fists and then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. He's that meme from like the dog surrounded by fire saying, "It's fine, it's just a scratch." So it was nothing, really? It looks like he wasn't joking when he said he lay his life on the line if he had to. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yes, so I understand. Oh! I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Sherlock Holmes. I don't think he was German, though. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes, then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case at least. Oh, how? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oops, now I've definitely upset him. Inspector, has your investigation in here proved fruitful? If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, really to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping a watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. Ah, there is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh, what? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. What is this new information you have, Inspector? Is this? It's the Buddha medical officer. The Buddha's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report? Kazuma-sama. So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report. His neck was broken? Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet. But the fact that there were no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility, and no obvious wound would be left. Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. It might be useful. You're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Ah. See, Susato, we are innocent. Please. Or a report from the SS Burias medical officer, giving the cause of death as a cervical spine injury. There were no traces of external injury or poison. Okay. Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he? Yes. He seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept around on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now that you mention it, yes. Just one thing, but he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish! Was all he said. Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. That it was shoe polish. Why? It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass, do you see? Perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think? Yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know that it's shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is it, Susato-san? Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. Dark tan? A sort of dark brownish red, then? Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repair them for him. I love those white outlines of a person. Oh, does this mean that this mark was maybe the polish of Kazuma's shoes as they scuffed on the floor? Wow! I love Great Ace Attorney. I prefer it to the through Ace Attorney, the regular Ace Attorney. I didn't finish the regular Ace Attorney. I'm on the second game. I'm playing offline. I'm on the third case of the second game, but when I played the first game, I played afterwards the first Great Ace Attorney games, and comparing the two, I prefer the Great Ace Attorney. And since I've played it like 2 or 3 years ago, I don't remember the exact date, I was like, maybe I could do live streams about the Great Ace Attorney so I can remember more about the story. And yeah. Okay. Finishing my line of thought. I love Great Ace Attorney. I love Ace Attorney, but sometimes they talk too much, something that is obvious, like this about the shoe polish. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best. Thank you. He really needs to drink some tea with honey for his throat. Poor Inspector, he looks exhausted. Oh, no. Well, Yeah, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asogi-san. It was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing to compare to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have a very heavy head ever since I woke this morning. A heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing too. So this ventilator joins to Miss Pavlova's cabin. Yes, that's right. And just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. A speckled band, as he described it. If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it, but she seemed as baffled as we were. Yes, I wonder if she's telling us everything, though. I'm not sure. I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but there was something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh yes, and you tidied them up, didn't you? You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabins leads to damage. But it really wasn't me who knocked them over. Well, anyway, I feel much better now they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy. It really is such a beautiful color, this glass. It looks like wherever it was has broken lean into two. But the other half is nowhere to be seen. And then there is the brick-colored mark, which is shoe polish, according to that great detective you seem to know all about. I suppose it must be from Kazuma-sama's shoes. Maybe, but what I'd like to know is, how can the detective be so sure it's shoe polish and not something else? Because he's a great detective, of course. That's hardly a reason, is it? I think we've seen everything about this place. Let me just do a quick check up. Okay. So let's move on. Maybe here. Something new, please. Look, Naruhodo-san! Seaman Stroganoff has gone. Strong enough? The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us. Ugh, all these Russian names are impossible to remember. La la la. Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Tra la 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 la. Tra la la li la 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 la. I did it the great detective way. This caroling. I know that lark-like voice. Oh, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can and investigate. Definitely. Before that, Stringy Knot, crewman, comes back. What do you mean hard to remember? Yeah, foreign names in general are more... It's harder to remember. At least I think so. But it's stroganoff, not stringy knot. Hold up, I want to see if it's... Aha! My husbando! Oh, Mr. Sholmes, look! Wow, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. I did it the great detective way. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or he's simply in extremely high spirits? Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, where there was doubt, it's lucky Herlock was about. Excuse me. I solved it all, and I stood tall. I did the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! Ah! What is it? You want to fight? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climatic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now as good as time as any. I very nearly dropped you on the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now could you put those fists away? Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on the guard here. Oh yes, the ship's log. And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank, which means that there was nothing to report, nothing to note happened, so... He stands up, yes. You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman oft stands sentry in the first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes? Nothing to report? Precisely. Put it simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's logs from last night are largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean? Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log. That's when Cosmas died, I think, because his last entry of his diary was 1:35 a.m. So 30 minutes from 1:35 a.m. it's 2:05 a.m. Aha! The crewman knows something. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Ah, you're starting to understand that my way is, I see, what makes Sholmes brilliance. Ha 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 ha. Oh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason, nothing more. Everyone has a headache. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought. It's just... well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? Gotta. Can I see it? Nope. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Sato-san. Oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. There's not a moment of waste. Naruhodo-san, we must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right, for Kazuma's sake. Not just for Kazuma-sama. What do you mean? It can't be long now until we arrive at port in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Really? We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san, by ourselves if we have to. Yes, we will. Let's go! Okay. Naruhodo-san, are you there? Sorry? I'm right here, yes? Why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know? We're out of the closet. Yes, we are out of the closet. Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes? I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. Ah yes, they're displayed in this cabin too. Look, the SS Buria's rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. I suppose Miss Pavlova realized she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret after she read this. Her special friend, I mean. I wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. It's probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard. Oh yes, so do I. All the books have toppled over together. Look, every single one. Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. In Kazuma's cabin. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase? I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. Must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage? Not everything bad that happens on this ship is because of me, you know? Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. Susato, don't do this. We are in stealth mode, practically. If you tidy them up, we will be found out that we were searching in this cabin. Please don't do this. Fuck. Okay. Oh my! Miss Pavlova's case is open. It's completely empty inside. But according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Buria. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And more to the point, where is it now? There are just a few books on the desk. Nothing else by the looks of it. Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. That's true. I wonder what kind of books she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlovas enjoy reading books written in Russian? Wow! Thanks, I think I probably already knew that. It's rude to ask too much of people, Naruhodo-san. Kindly remember that. I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket. Shall we have a little look and see what's being thrown away? Naruhodo-san, it's poor etiquette to go sifting through someone's rubbish, you know? Ugh, those eyes. She's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. However, these are special circumstances, I think. Exactly, I have no choice. We have no choice. There's hardly anything in here at all. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. I wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor. For her friend? Yes, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. More like it was put there deliberately. Oh, do you think there could be a leak on the floor just above here? What? A leak? Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a little leak on the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is gonna sink. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? It would seem this teapot is empty. So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are very thirsty people. Or, because Miss Pavlovas only came to this cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet? I mean, it could be either. It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruhodo-san? There's one of these next to the bed in Kazuma's cabin too. Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist. Não! Não faz isso! She barely hesitated there, and she gave it a good tug too. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret. So, this ventilator connects to Kazuma's cabin next door. Yes, although what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Maybe it's so that if there is a gas leak next door, the occupants of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm? Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning? That is a possibility. Anyway, last night Kazuma wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. Yee! Ah! What is that? Isso não é bom sinal, vai dar bosta. It's not a good sign. Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile for. Full stop. Hard to starboard. All hands brace for impact. Eita, nós. Eita, porra. Fudeu! What the... I think we're about to crash into another ship? What? I can't stand. Susato-san, hold on to me. Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine, thank you, Naruhodo-san. It looks like we avoided a collision. I think. Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness, what about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout out if you need assistance. Sounds like Inspector Hosonaga. Are you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door, quickly! What? The bolt? Look at that! The door is bolted. Did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. Naruhodo-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? I'd better tidy this place up first. Our violent emergency stop has solved one mystery at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Ah, nice. I really want to finish this chapter in this live stream. So, yay! Oh, see? The last time I played was March 2022. But I started on 2021, I think, because I remember playing around Christmas time, like, or it wouldn't be long for the new year. Somehow the door of the cabin we were ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Susato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. Uh-oh. You, what are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. Uh-oh. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crew are running everywhere. This first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone's triggered the alarm. Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked intruder! Dressed in all black! You are the devil! Sorry? Me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is a first. You opened my traveling case! How could you? What? No, we didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector! Yes? Arrest this man. I know he did it. He is a criminal. It is not enough that he killed a man. And he is a stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Take him away. He's a trespasser as well as everything else. Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She's right. You are devil. It doesn't look good, does it? There is a cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow, we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to the police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosonaga, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. I just need to keep calm and focus on the task at hand, which is investigating. Don't touch my things. You want me to show you where crawfish hibernates? Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think you're doing? Wow, everyone's attacking me! And I was just starting to think she was my friend. Isn't there anyone else who can help me out of this mess? Ah! What are you doing up there? Mr. Schultz? He is my king. He needs his crown. Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that I was a detective? It is my business to know what other people do not. This isn't a mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally, I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall, also full of brag and bounce. And what a beautiful crown it is, isn't it, Johnny? He's beautiful. The crown is beautiful, my husbando is beautiful. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. You again, the great detective. Inspector, I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is to report? Speak. An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes, the case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Buia, has been solved by me, naturally. Ah, what? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great attention to the case. Aha! You have solved it? Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing student boy this morning, when we found criminal in wardrobe. Is this stowaway? And he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because, as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it is called a locked room mystery in the detective stories. The locked room. That is point. The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You're all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprits in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. This, just a minute, I need to see something here. Hold up. I'm back. Olá, olá, voltei. Jesus fucking Christ, it's so hot. Ugh. I'll have to get my door open, but then my cats will get inside here. Either that or I'm cooked. I'll try to endure. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain the access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. It gapes open-mouthed at you, even as we speak. The ventilator, man! The ventilator! Ha 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 ha! You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole. It's 7 degrees here. Lucky you. I think it's 30 degrees here. We are getting closer to summertime. Yep, it's almost 30 degrees. Ay, ay, ay. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible. But it is. And last night the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean? Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? 1:33 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is it is in this very cabin. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Fighting the demons. His inside demons. There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! What the? Eita, nós! Allow me to introduce you all to the band, the speckled band. A snake? Indubitably. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more strippy, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. I think in this case, you'd have to call it the strippled band, wouldn't you? It's still a fucking snake in that ship. So, you both see and observe. What distinction, however? Do not think that it is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? Is it a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it is time I explained the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim's losing his life. No. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi? It looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise a little movement as possible. Seaman, you wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Let's go! That is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Aching heart smarts with pain. And it's that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? And naturally, it was the freight to which you boarded the vessel, was it not? As I suspected, another telltale glance. Okay, no, it isn't the snake, her friend. And yet the fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell a speckled band, whereas regrettably, these specimen markings do not fit the description in any way. Hello, Everinian! Oi, Santana, tudo bom? Estamos investigando. Tem uma cobra dentro do... Tem uma cobra dentro do navio. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have to answer to this quandary, even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying but failing to conceal, the only one snake's solved scheme. Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin, no? I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Tem uma cobra na minha bota. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled man. In summary, The nature of this friend of yours which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it sloughs its skin. A snake so dreadful, you can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there was no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost but not quite imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There's no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you choose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death, that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't... It is telling that the victim made a note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To train? Indeed, you put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared to not have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. O cara morreu no estilo Danganronpa, assim. E pior, é nosso melhor amigo, então acusando a gente. Do you deny the snakes was undergone such training? It's not true. E eu lá, arrastando o meu sotaque russo, tentando imitar o sotaque russo. I have no idea if I'm doing the Russian accent correctly. Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed to only sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of the speckled band. Reticências. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible! You've solved the mystery. Amazing! Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see why Sherlock Holmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Would I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course, what's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. Welcome questions as to my method, and I will answer both loudly and proudly. Well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see? So I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter, no doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pets to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example, the logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling. But madam, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears. What creatures are so inept as to be practically useless? Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There is one other thing. You have more? Snakes are the scales of their bellies to propel themselves. So I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder. Please don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snakes had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it wouldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake would have had a part in this. Chateou, tá chateado, tá tite. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, you don't mean... Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' last deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So, cast your eyes down to your wrists again. What? You've done it again. Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not, I shall see they're restored after our work is done. Soninho. I'm sleepy, sorry. Nossa, teve a maldita chuva forte. Perto de umas 3, 4 da manhã. Demorou pra eu cair no sono de novo. Around 3 a.m., 4 p.m., there was a thunderstorm. And it was difficult to get to sleep again. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Holmes. She does have a pained expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Holmes has read her quite correctly, is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then? Let's take a moment and really look more closely at Miss Pavlova. Oh, Maruhodo-san, look! That looks like a very painful wound. It looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. And fairly recently, too. Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here.
Yes!
Yes, you recall those horrid events, that claw scratch marks with pen. Indeed, and simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night? When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? It seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is it? What's the true identity of these friends of hers? Vai ser cachorro ou vai ser gato? It is either a cat or a dog. Probably a cat. Provavelmente é gato, né? Se escalou o negócio. That's where we'll find the answer. Aha! Look at the photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She's exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true, but personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that's caught my eye. Maybe we'd better have a closer look at this. Look at the little cat Miss Pavlova's cuddling here. Oh, what a cute little kitten. It could vie with you, couldn't it, Mr. Hodo-san, for the blackest outfit? A black kitten. And from the look of this picture at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it.
Yes!
Without a doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no! The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ah! Darka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, the fact leaves us in a quandary. The victims... Enfim. The specimen's marking do not fit that description in any way. Aha! I speckled. Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If she'd just left in her pocket, no one would ever have known. Oh yes, ploys like that are Mr. Sholmes' specialty. His ever being so cleverly forced her to reveal something. I thought deduction was his speciality, or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that's the skin of a snake. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova's hiding behind her back? Ah, it's a toy, I think. It is speckled, and it is a band, but what is it? It seems to be a soft and fluffy, a long piece of cloth of some sort, and that looks like a handle at one end. I think it may be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently. How is that toy for a cat? Cats like to chase a band around and paw at it. Kittens, in particular, love that sort of play. You only need to wave in front of them and they pounce to catch it. That sounds positively adorable. It is.
Yes!
One of my cats love this kind of toy. The other two are older, so they don't like to play as much. Yes, the thing you are trying but failing to conceal, it's a cat's toy. Precisely, in the true nature of now infamous speckle band. And it was this toy you dangled through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can be only one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Makes sense. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which was last night future to the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. Ah! a truly troublesome feline, young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. It was after I gave her her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up to the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Darka, she's so naughty. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. He didn't die by poison, it was his broken neck. We already know that. A gente já sabe que ele quebrou o pescoço. What Mr. Sholmes says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma's body. That's right. But Mr. Sholmes seems to be unaware of the one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now. Male Far Eastern, somewhere between 1 a.m. and a little past 2 a.m. Damage to the cervical vertebrae, resulting in instant death. Instant? The victim's neck was almost certainly broken as a result of a strong blow to the area. No obvious external injuries or traces of poison.
Yes!
In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained, blah blah blah. I knew it was one or the other. His neck was... Opa! Cimento Stroganoff isn't some immortal freak, you know? The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as a fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm at the scene of the crime. Oh no! Could there be... Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove that... Okay. Kazuma died because of his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapons has been found though. Presumably, Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal with him a fatal blow. I suppose it's possible that he had fallen and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe Kazuma-sama, though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything in the scene we could explain what happened? This?
Yes!
Aha! This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow and dye were my results, an undeniable ingredient of shoe polish. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mrs. Asogi's lace leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what had happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Please no. And by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell on the floor, suffering a fatal blow to the spine. The victim's vertebrae shattered, and in an instant he lost his life. No! I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left in the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened. But, and if this part of Mr. Shom's deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she cast her eyes. Where, I wonder? Let's go have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. I don't think it's a tiara. Ah! It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? It is. And I feel I've seen it somewhere before. Pera.
Yes!
You hear the evidence that links... Ah! Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely, we found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asogi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit perfectly together. Oh no! So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin? Ah! You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? I don't know. It was in that... Meu Deus do céu, pera. Inspira. In that hushed Russian accent of yours. Won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linked to the question. Yes, the evidence linked to the little glass bell would be, aha, here. Darka was wearing it. Aha! Take that!
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darka's collar, is the very glass bell in question. Hi! The truth has caught up to you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Darka. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Sholmes just has the ability to summon spotlights everywhere. It's a diva's power. And Sholmes is the divas of the divas. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. They do. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that is how you acquainted the rather nasty wound in the back of your hand, I take it? Yes. And I had read the rules on the floor. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, you thought it's safe to try to lure the kitten back? Nossa senhora, eu não percebi que era o Sholmes falando. Desculpa. Ai, como eu disse, o sono tá batendo. By dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin. Darka always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy, tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... I nearly passed out in shock. I heard her cry out and then, oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Kazuma was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that that you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Buria is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case, and now she's disappeared again. Gracious, that cat is as insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? Right, where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it? And where did it come from? What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on the board of this ship? I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is Piros... Agora que é? Pirosco? Pirosco? Fucking hell, his name looks like piroca. That means penis in Portuguese. What the fuck? Huh? What? What? That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. Ha! We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend? Without someone who understands? Piroco, o piroquinho. Piroquinho é seu amiguinho. Couldn't you find someone a little more human to understand you better? That's why he had red marks. Yes, that's why. But my dear burly fellow, are gargantuan venomous snakes? Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in? No venom. Piroca não tem veneno. Ai. O piroquinho. Pirosco does not have venom. He is harmless, very long, but very gentle. He's adorable, like Granny. It's venomless? Yes. Now he's hungry, so he's in a bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say they milk chickens. Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Pirosco eats mouses. Big fat round mouses. Cara, não tô aguentando que o nome dessa cobra é pirosca. Piroco. Pirosco. Piroquinha. Oh, so is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for? Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord, and it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept to land a staring roll? I don't like snakes that much either, but I feel bad. I feel bad for it. Pobre pirosco. Pirosquinho, não. It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. My pirosco has nothing to do with this incident. A pirosca dele tá salva, tá entre as pernas. Tudo bem. Ai, que horror. Não é à toa que eu não coloco que as lives não são pra criança. Porque olha as merda que surge. Não é à toa mesmo. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Foda. Miss Pavlova, I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstance, I cannot forgive you. But what are you talking about, Miss Mikotaba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events, an accident. I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Mrs. Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh? I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. No! Not again. When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrists as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours, was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. We must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. Discrepancy. Which discrepancy? I can't see it! The truth about how you really died, about how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes! What should we ponder first? Is the victim who lost his life in the cabin that was bolted shut from the inside? Was this truly an unfortunate event? There was in fact no accident at all. That is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. Deve ser isso aqui, por causa que deve ser isso aqui porque tem a coberta escrito russa. Tipo, it must be this because he fell and died instantly. But someone wrote this in Russian, so hold on.
Yes!
There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That script, it's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language, Japanese in this case. Maybe he was studying Russian? It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry? What do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There's no way Mr. Asogi could have left this note message on the floor. The reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Ah! Which means after the victim fell on the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything, because he was already dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? Eu não notei. What is it? I don't know. Maybe this?
Yes!
What point are you trying to make with that evidence? I'm starting to see how Kazuma's death really happened, I think. Ah, merda. No! Maybe this. Because nothing to report, and then suddenly this?
Yes!
Não! De novo, não! Shit! I don't know. Ah! This?
Yes!
Ah, que ódio! Some to the time of death? Maybe. I think there is 1 a.m. a little past 2 a.m. Maybe it's this.
Yes!
Ah, de novo! Fucking hell! Hold up. Please, please. Okay, it isn't this. It isn't this. This?
Yes!
Nope. Okay. Oh, wait. Duh.
Yes!
Sorry. Try examining this stuff with more details. I'm trying to. It's because the contradiction is the time of death. He's written in Russian. Instant death. It's in Russian, okay. I've already tried this, I think.
Yes.
Nope. I'm just throwing things at this point. It's getting frustrating because I don't know what should I show.
Yes.
Okay. This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell that the kitten had around its neck. We already know all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. Sorry, Johnny. Read it slowly so I can also look. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there is a very big flaw, a fatal flaw. What? If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Yes, I remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no. Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in that room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's. Eita porra. You are wasting time. Someone else was there? Duh, of course, we know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Oh, yes. And only other person in cabin when the young student died was you.
Yes.
And it moved like the books in the background. Yes, I think it's the ship almost collided and it moved, so the boat was shut. That's the explanation. Pavlova was already out, so it's true. I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have, there's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. And in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen on the floor for fear of becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asoki really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken the pieces of the bell anyway? Being left behind as always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. A single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast a light onto the floor there. Little wonder then, the culprit failed to notice the fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect of me, don't you? Steamer Stroganoff! Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills, and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal. So that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. That's not possible. I give my tooth. Well, this is almost interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You are a great detective. You should know. Look truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go in cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors. Niet, not possible. Ah, he's right. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie threads around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside. Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. These are watertight doors, and one would expect to find on any modern steamship, constructed of heavy steel with not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets would have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so Susato-san, how can you shift it to me like that? So, Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of this method I have in mind having been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the door bolt from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, and so should you, because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Aha!
Yes!
Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel, after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt thus goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe, yes, that's what's known by the force of inertia, acting on objects. Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book, at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah! It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Yep. That's it! When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across the locked the door. Yeah, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed, or the force of inertia, as you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Asogi was killed... Yep. The SS Buria made another emergency stop? When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked quite odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hands across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them up again, didn't I? Then we came into this cabin and we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like Mr. Asogi's cabin. Oh my! Do you have anything to say about that, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Buria made the emergency stop? It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying the culprit is actually someone from the engine room? Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button is in the passageway outside used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there, telling you only to press the button in times of emergency. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of this lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Wait, it was you? When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interests of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed I did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholmes, você é biruleibe, você é maluco, biluteteia. Surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed! Whatever the occasion. He almost sounded proud of himself. How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. Now, I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider? Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did this ship make an emergency stop or did it not? You are idiots. Buria is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make an emergency stop, even in the middle of the night, there would be chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support the idea. Really? What evidence? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. Peraí. Hold up. I think now we use this one because there are virtually no entries from 2 a.m. until early this morning. It's the only evidence I can think that makes sense. Seaman Stroganoff, it's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship, isn't that right? Da, that's correct. Why? And the ship's logs here. This would be where you record the details from your duties? What are you doing with that? That's mine. Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift burrow in the passageway of the... But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return to you later. I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always. The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances you write the phrase "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log? That is, because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write "nothing to report," wouldn't you? Yeah, I am a little eepy. Maybe I will take a nap before dinner time. Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Buria. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night? Stop talking rubbish. If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh, why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed. That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. What of the throbbing? I was thinking about that, actually. Sorry, what do you mean? Your head, ma'am. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered from it. Ah. Oh, yes. I have had a headache. You're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. I had been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. It's right, my head's been throbbing today too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of a hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed in the morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. But why didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Well, yes. Sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? I do. No, really? Is that really true? A meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tempered by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. A sleeping drug? Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Shomus means. What a far-fetched idea! Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. Mr. Shomes! Well, Seaman, I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade. Please, no more. I will tell everything. Huh? I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen of your former comrades, I believe. Yes, so when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me. We all agreed to help, everyone together. She threw away everything, her fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. That we could not make all drug. How do you say? Dissolve? Ugh, talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was helped by comrades on shore with small fishing boat, while all the passengers of the SS Buria slept soundly, thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So, if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who disliked chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. But how that makes sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. I wouldn't say so. What? Of course! Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite, and accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes. The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway, and so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. You have talked long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present in the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But I don't know about any of this. I am just little girl. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories we don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. What? I am quite the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Do you hear it, the accusatory cry of guilt on the wind? What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry you lost me? Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes, for observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about? Meu Deus, mais um! So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow. Just as I said, of these two prevaricators. Observation? If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering the scene of Mr. Asogi's death. What we are looking for is some trace of evidence that one of those two was there when it happened. Maybe... fingers with ink? Precisely. You are delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. Aha! There's ink on his clothes! Aha! Oh, look at this! Some kind of stain in an unusual place. Yes, you're right. Looks like ink, if I'm not mistaken. Yes! Ink. And looks at the color, so it's clear where this comes from. Take this, you fucker! Cement Stroganoff. You seem to have a quite large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Huh? Ah yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from. So nothing particular comes to mind about this stain? What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allows us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of the Seaman Stroganoff uniform. And I think what made it clear. Indeed it is. Mr. Naruhodo presents the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then. The evidence that proves that that stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff uniform really is...
Yes!
This photograph and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink? A rather unusual color of ink. Purple. The penny drops at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of the exact same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means you must have been present in the cabin the moment immediately after the ink was spilled. Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in that student's cabin to make it look like the wardrobe man did it. Then I pressed button to make Burya do emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel. Beef, please. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty, patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like shit. Beef, please. You must help me. I went with her. The door cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw a student boy on floor. What happened here? Please, don't tell anyone. My little one, my little furry friend. Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asogi's cabin. Then he tripped over and broke his neck when he fell on the floor. Yes, that is right. So after the incident, when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard the sound of something falling on the floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked, so she opened to look, and you already know what happened after. There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Asogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, wasn't he already dead? Why? I already told you. When Nina opened door, the student cabin, I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you. So is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last? Something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took it this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck, therefore the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident thus precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems somehow unnatural. What do you mean, unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, hold up. I think it's unnatural that he is laying on his chest, tummy. He should be laying with his back.
Yes!
No. Maybe he pointing? Him pointing sounds weird. Yeah, I think it's the hands.
Yes!
Fucking hell, again, no!
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then his fist just doesn't seem quite right. Him pointing doesn't make sense as well. The exact thought occurred to me. In a fall, one instinctive is to open the palms flat. And here we see the victim with his hand tightly balled into a fist, almost as you might say, as though he was gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us, please. Of course, my dear madam. Would I keep you in suspense? Ah, this is what I found. A crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle? Yes, you're right, a crescent moon. It is very pretty, but what does it tell us? Tells us nothing. I'm not so sure that crescent moon looks... It looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Aha! I know! It's her earring! It's her earring! I know it's her earring! Please, let me point it out! Please, please, please! I want to take a nap! Please!
Yes!
Miss Pavlova, your ear there. I see you have a crescent moon as well. What? And on your other ear, there seems to be a crescent moon missing. The little link holding it on must have broken, I suppose. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asogi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear, perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night, in Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment he fell victim with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length with him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asogi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in clenched fist during his final moments? Angel? No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb into this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin and could relax after this horrible, long day. Darka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Darka would not come back. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. The young man from your country. He was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised to not to tell anyone. But then I had my friends in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin. Just a moment, sorry, but... Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen it somewhere before. Ah! Of course, you're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina? Huh? No, I don't know the name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from land in faraway East know a Russian ballerina? Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing in this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. Salve, Pitaia, boa noite. Olá, Tan. Nossa, já estou jogando faz 3 horinhas, mas estamos na reta final desse capítulo. Finalmente conseguimos resolver quem matou o nosso melhor amigo. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. Have no other choice. I see. So you've run away. Please, please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Nothing like a flowing headband indoors. Kazuma has that kind of power. It's aura farming? Give me a moment, I could use another opinion here. He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? Then it happened, everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait! I shouted, and then Darka jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet. And as he turned around to look at me, I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just too scared. Essa pose é o suco do Aura Farm. Tadinho, mas ele morreu. Ele morreu tentando fazer um Aura Farming. Não. And I had to stop him from telling anyone but about me. And that's when you went to fetch help from Seaman Stroganoff, who was on duty out in this passageway. I heard Nina cry out and thud on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing in the cabin door, shaking like leaf, and she looked at me and said, "Help me, Beef. If they found out, I will be. Please, I have nowhere to go." So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it, so that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door? Yes. I went into cabin and looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Stowaway in wardrobe, still sleeping. Right. That's when he found me. So, you worked out a plan. to lay the blame on the stowaway. I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Sato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged young man's body to good place and used ink that was spilling to write on the floor. I wrote, isso aí que eu não sei falar, so that person would found him would look inside wardrobe and find stowaway. And tell me, what about the glass? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark on the cabin. I didn't notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin and finished the job. By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway? Yes. Accordingly, the SS Buria did indeed come to an emergency halt a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolts on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said you told Kazuma about the fact you'd run away from your homeland, and it's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he had pulled the bell accords to call for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would you have been a problem? It was what he said first that what made me scared. What he said first? What are you doing here at this time at night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. He said an inspector was his friend. Ah, yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain, but he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No! He was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not done yet, it seems. There's one more deduction to make. Another deduction? Ah, isso é simples. Ele ia pro armário para falar com a gente. That's quite simple. I think he was going to the wardrobe where Yonosuke was sleeping. What action was the victim really about to take at that moment? Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy, I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still. That cabin has been my home for the entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night. when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama? Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. If there's one thing I've learned today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal all manners of truths. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze where it lands. So, when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly Kazuma was looking at?
Take that!
Considering everything that happened last night, certainly it may have looked though Kazuma was going to ring the bell for it. Yes, however, but it's directly beside the bell cord, the wardrobe. The wardrobe. And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's graced friend, sleeping soundly. Ah! Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night? Give me a moment, I could use another opinion here. Caramba, o cara morreu de graça. O cara simplesmente morreu de graça por, tipo... Ai... He was killed by miscommunication. Fucking hell. Another opinion. Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asogi intended to consult his close friends on the matter. To see if between them they might be able to get to help in some way, no doubt. Oh, no! Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had. Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting to the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is a man lost his life because of what you did, and that will never change. I hope you will never forget that. I mean, she's probably traumatized as fuck now. Deve ser traumatizada pra caralho agora também. Pensando que, poxa, matou, tipo, uma pessoa à toa e blá blá blá. I'm sorry. Really. I'm so sorry. What have I done? And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Guria was finally laid to rest. It's fucking depressing. Depressão, yay! What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at the Scotland Yard. I feel bad for her. Ai, tadinha. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all of that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Strognev? I wanted to help our angel. no matter what. But I didn't think about you, about how you lost good friends. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste, but... well, do what you can do for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Duh. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul and arrange our passage back to Japan. Yes. I did a stowaway, after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So you should get back to your cabin now. It looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before I even begun, then. To think that only days ago, Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we'd tear up the streets of London. That seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Ai, tadinha, não! Susata-san? Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned. Well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack. You know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that? No! I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's lives can be over just like that. Susato-san. Fucking hell, my eyes got tear-eyed. Ugh. Nossa, meu olho lacrimejou até. Que dó, cara. Had such a grand ideas for his visit, for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away, just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth, that it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san, it's just too much. Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Inspector, my duty was to see Asogi-san safely to Great Britain. But I failed, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down. And I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now at... Huh? Surprise, Mr. Naruhodo? What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Você só vai conseguir me ver usando esses negócios, é sério? Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them. For old time's sake, shall we say? You are a stowaway after all. He thinks this is funny? He's back at it again. Mr. Sholmes. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer you my sincere condolences? The loss of your companion is truly heart-rending. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. The terms of the study tour was negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be. In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no, I don't care for me, but... Poor Susato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know? All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value to Great Britain, I'm afraid. But anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Que inferno de viagem! Mês pra viajar! Ai, coisa horrível! Credo, nossa, não! Ugh! Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes? Mr. Sato? Yes? Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Caramba, a gente vai fazer um intensivão foda. Intensivão foda. Um mês pra virar advogado. Um mês pra conseguir a OAB. Mr. Naruhodo, that's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you not let me try? And if by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to recognize as a lawyer, I will take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But you put yourself in such a difficult position. For Kazuma, he said there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can tell that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Susato? I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. So, what does our spectacles inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, this is madness. Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating. Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence that this man's exemplary character today, with your own eyes. From the early mornings until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Thank you, Inspector. If you excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next, and how best to make my report. Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer? I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant, after all. Thank you. And, Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this. Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword that's been in the Asogi clan for generations. Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it always. So then, Miss Susato, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days... 40 dias, que inferno! I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Yes, that's exactly what I need. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you two. Goodness, what is it? Please throw me to the ground. 3 times. Que horror, no! No! What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course, you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No! You were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away. No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. And not just once, but 5 times. The nups keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it. No. I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill someone acquires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed. When did he say that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling? Oh, well, in a way, it's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jujitsu technique. Apparently it's called Susato Takedown. It leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling, I don't know how to say that word. I'm a practitioner of the combative art myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw? A gente vai ser cobaia de novo, quer ver? Ela vai jogar a gente. Yes, I'd be honored. Demonstrate, my dear madam. Oh, of course. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Oh yes, arresting indeed. And that is what the term Susato takedown it is? Actually, no, that was a Susato squash. In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered to my mind. It's a judo throw. That's what I was thinking, Johnny. Karuma. That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryonosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling on that subject. There's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Fofoca pela metade mata a fofoqueira. Ah! And I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. Ah! I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I will see it through to the end with you. Ah! I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing you had to do. I still don't know what it was. Ah, no! But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. Uhul! Terminamos! Okay, so let's just see the animation for the next episode and we'll finish this live stream. It's been almost 4 hours. I'm tired. Ok, a gente agora vai ver só, tipo, a cena do começo do terceiro episódio e parar por aí, porque eu tô cansada. Faz quase 4 horas que eu tô fazendo live. Não tanco, não.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, "I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together."
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure. I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
Okay, let us save. Woof. It's London, ain't it? Jesus fucking Christ, I'm tired. But finally we're at London. Well, I'm going to go now. I need to make dinner. Preciso sair agora, preciso fazer minha janta. Tá tão tarde que eu não sei nem se eu vou tirar um cochilo que eu queria. It's already pretty late, so I don't know if I am going to take a nap or not. It's 7:30 p.m. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching me in this playthrough. Muito obrigada quem assistiu a gameplay de hoje. Yes, Johnny, please go to sleep. Probably it's pretty late where you're from. It was a good stream though. Yes, I had a lot of fun. I wished I could do it earlier, but there was way too many thunderstorms around here. So, yeah. I had to wait a few hours. Anyway, thank you so much. Muito obrigada pra quem viu. Queria ter começado antes, mas muitos relâmpagos e ventania, essas coisas, então não rolou. E até a próxima. Tomorrow I will be streaming with Ray and Santana. We don't know which hour or what we are going to play or watch or anything like that. So please keep an eye on Twitter and Blue Sky. So I will say there what we are going to do tomorrow. Anyway, bye bye. Enfim, amanhã vai ter live da Santana e Clarei. A gente não sabe ainda que horas que vai ser, nem o que a gente vai fazer exatamente. Mas até amanhã. Fiquem de olho no Twitter e no Blue Sky pra ver certinho. Eu vou divulgar lá o horário e o que a gente vai fazer. Eu ainda vou conversar com elas pra gente decidir o que a gente vai fazer. Enfim, tchau, tchau pra todo mundo.